Hi, welcome back. Today we are looking at another key topic in biology, which is osmosis. You know, osmosis, there's no way you will be able, as a biology student, there's no way you escape osmosis and diffusion in most of your exams. So you have to take these topics very seriously. So we are looking at osmosis in biology, another topic in biology. What is osmosis? Osmosis is a movement of water molecules or solvent from the region of lower concentration to the region of what? Higher concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. You understand? So that's a difference. There's a difference between osmosis and diffusion. You remember that in diffusion, the molecule has to move from the region of higher concentration to that of the lower concentration. But in osmosis, it has to move. It moves from the region of lower concentration to the region of higher concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. You understand? So this is a definition of osmosis. Now, there are conditions that are necessary for osmosis to take place. What are those conditions? Number one, there has to be a region of higher concentration. There will have to be a region of higher concentration so that it will move from there. Then another one is there has to be another region of weaker or lower concentration. Then the third condition necessary for osmosis is that there should be a semi-permeable membrane such that the molecules should be able to move through this membrane to the other region. You understand? So the mechanism in this osmosis is that at the region of higher concentration, the concentration is higher. So the higher concentration will begin to attract or drag the molecules of lower concentration. Now let's look at, there are some terms that are used in osmosis. There are some terms that are used in osmosis. The first one is what we call the hypotonic solution. A hypotonic solution is when a cell is surrounded by a stronger solution, such that water solvent molecules will move from that higher concentration into the cell through the semi-permeable membrane, which is the cell now, into the inside of the cell. You understand? So when that happens, it might even result to bursting of the cell. That is what happen in most unicellular organisms, and that's why they have. Remember when I was teaching you organelles of the cell? I remember I told you that we have what we call the cell vacuole. The vacuole acts as an osmoregulator. It helps to remove excess water from the cell. So this hypotonic solution is when the cell is surrounded by a stronger solution, so that cells and molecules of water constantly will be entering into the cell, and if it is not controlled, it will result to the bursting of the cell. Then another term that is used in osmosis is what we call isotonic solution. Isotonic solution is when the cell is surrounded by a solution of equal concentration. The solution that is outside the cell the concentration is equal to that of the concentration inside the cell. So there's no movement of water either in or out of the cell. That means that the solution is in the state of equilibrium. Then the last term that is used in osmosis is what we call the hypertonic solution. The first one is hypotonic solution, however, isotonic solution, and the last one is the hypertonic solution. This is when the cell is surrounded by stronger concentration, such that water will be leaving the cell. This time around, water will be leaving the cell through osmosis. You know, the solution outside the cell is what? Is stronger. So water will be leaving the cell through osmosis that may result in the wilting of that cell. That is what happens in plant during drought. You know, when there's excessive heat and there's no rain, most plants will wither. The condition here is hypertonic solution. Those plants are losing water from their cell. The water molecules are leaving the cells, so that if it is not controlled, it will result to what we call wilting in plants, and also what we call plasmolysis. You understand? So we shall be considering this term as we progress. So these are the terms, the major terms that are used in osmosis. Now remember, there are differences between osmosis and diffusion. These are terms that are used together. There are differences. What are the key differences between osmosis and diffusion? The first one is that in osmosis, there is a semi-permeable membrane, what we call semi-permeable membrane, while in diffusion, there's no semi-permeable membrane. Then another one is that in osmosis, it moves from the region of what? It moves from the region of lower concentration to that of higher concentration. That's in osmosis. While in diffusion, it moves from the region of higher concentration to that of what? Lower concentration. Then the third difference between osmosis and diffusion is that diffusion mostly happens in both plants, in plants and animals, and it also happens in non-living things. But osmosis happens only in living things, that is in plant and animal. It does not happen in non-living things. So these are some of the terms or things we need to know as far as osmosis is concerned. In our next session or video, we shall be considering experiments to demonstrate osmosis in living things and non-living things. Remember to key into our programs, like our videos, share them, comment on them. This is the best educational platform you can ever find in all social media platforms. You understand? So continue to follow us for your maximum or excellent performance in all our subjects and in every examination. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye for now.